Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. So we are doing Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 4, text 35. I'm just reading the purport now. Actually, somebody would like to read the purport?
Yes, Prabhuji, I would like to do.
Please go ahead.
Purport. This imperative is applicable to pure devotees. Neophytes will be able to understand these affairs only after being elevated by regulated devotional service under the expert guidance of the spiritual master. Then they too will be competent to hear of the love affairs of Radha and Krishna.
Right. Thank
As
you.
long
Sorry, Mataji. Let's just finish this paragraph first. So the point being made is that we, the neophyte devotees, cannot understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. We cannot even understand the mood of the residents of Vraja, how they serve, how they give up everything for Krishna, how only thing they know is to serve Krishna, etc., etc., and they love Krishna more than anything else, even in their own life. So that kind of thing is very difficult for us to understand the conditioned souls. So actually, again, in the purport for the previous verse, Srila Prabhupada quotes a bhajan by Nauttam Das Thakur. He says, Rupa Raghunath Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hama Bujibo Se Yugal Piriti. When shall I be eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis? Then I shall be able to understand the transcendental love affairs of Radha and Krishna. So unless we understand these things, what the Goswamis have taught us, we cannot understand the affairs of Radha and Krishna. We misunderstand them. But to understand that, we not only have to study the literature, we also have to take guidance from our own spiritual master. And then and only we can make enough progress to understand these things. So we have to go through the Vaidhi Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti, Bhav Bhakti, and then Prem Bhakti. That's when we become pure devotees. So long ways to go, but we start somewhere. Okay, thank you. Anybody else read the second paragraph?
I can read too.
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
As long as one is in material, conditioned life, strict discipline is required in the matter of moral and immoral activities. The absolute world is transcendental and free from such distinctions because there is inability, because their inability is not possible. But in this material world, a sexual appetite necessitates distinction between moral and immoral conduct. There are no sexual activities in the spiritual world. The transactions between lover and beloved in the spiritual world are pure transcendental love and unadulterated bliss.
Thank you. So here a comparison of the spiritual world and material world is being made. In the material world, because of the word being used is sexual appetite, we have to worry about what's moral and what's not moral. We have moral laws of society, and then there are activities opposite to that called immoral activities. And we have to keep that distinction in mind in order to behave properly. But that distinction doesn't exist in the spiritual world simply because there is no sexual appetite. There is no sex act. Everything is on a very platonic basis. It's all transcendental. And therefore, when a girlfriend is with her boyfriend, it is okay. In the material world, it may be not approved. But in the spiritual,
it's again breaking. It's again breaking.
I don't know what's causing it. The same room I always am, and there's nothing else going on. Ashok Krishna Prabhu, is there any thoughts you had? I might try to check. I went to the select a microphone, and it says same as system.
No, it's fine, Prabhu. I think that is the correct setting. It's only like I feel only a bit, but not that much of breaking. Right, like right now it's fine.
Okay. What about
I guess.
everybody else?
Sometime it
Now
breaks.
it's fine. Yes, something.
Right now it's fine, Prabhu. Right now it's fine.
Now it's fine.
Okay. So just let me know. It looks like it's intermittent. So anytime it becomes,
Could be the Wi-Fi.
could be, Prabhu. But anytime it starts to break, just stop me, please. I'll repeat.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. So sorry, what was I saying? Yeah. So that distinction of moral and immoral doesn't exist in the spiritual world, because everything is on a platonic basis, it's transcendental, and everybody's focused on satisfaction of Lord Krishna. So therefore, that distinction doesn't exist there in the spiritual world. Okay, let's go to the next paragraph.
I can read, Prabhu.
Please go ahead.
One who has not been attracted by the transcendental beauty of rasa will certainly be dragged down into material attraction, thus to act in material contamination and progress to the darkest region of hellish life. But by understanding the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, one is freed from the grip of attraction to material, so-called love between man and woman. Similarly, one who understands the pure parental love of Nanda and Yasoda for Krishna will be saved from being dragged into material parental affection. If one accepts Krishna as the supreme friend, the attraction of material friendship will be finished for him, and he will not be dismayed by so-called friendship with mundane wranglers. If he is attracted by servitorship of Krishna, he will no longer have to serve the material body in the degraded status of material existence with the false hope of becoming master in the future. Similarly, one who sees the greatness of Krishna in neutrality will certainly never again seek the so-called relief of impersonalist or voidist philosophy. If one is not attracted by the transcendental nature of Krishna, one is sure to be attracted to material enjoyment, thus to become implicated in the clinging network of virtuous and sinful activities, and to continue material existence by transmigrating from one material body to another. Only in Krishna consciousness can one achieve the highest perfection of life.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So here, the main point being made is that there are 5 mellows: the mellow of neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parenthood, and conjugal.
Correct.
And each of those mellows are transcendental in nature in the spiritual world. What that means is that they're all focused, all those mellows are focused on Krishna, and they're all there simply to satisfy the senses of Krishna and to please him. So therefore, if we try to compare them with the material mellows, because material mellows are always self-centered, in that everybody's trying to get their own satisfaction, no matter what relationship they are in, whether it's parental or conjugal or whatever. Therefore, it becomes perverted in nature. And those of us who are able to understand the transcendental mellows, they can rise above all these material considerations and the disappointments, etc., that we sometimes get. It's also mentioned here that one in neutrality will never again seek the so-called relief of impersonalists or voidist philosophy. What's the relief impersonalists are looking for? Looking for relief from the miseries of the material world. So then we don't even care. So for example, we know that Lord Chaitanya wrote a Shikshashtakam number 4. He said, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavita va jagadish kamaye mam janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhakti rahati kitvai. He says, let me be born again and again. I don't want money, I don't want women, I don't want fame, I don't want to be known as a big learned person. I'm not looking for liberation. Just let me be born again and again. But every time I'm born, please allow me to to perform pure devotional service to you. So that becomes the major objective of a pure devotee. It doesn't matter what mellow they are in. So same thing here. Pure devotee is not looking for relief from material miseries. And similarly, if a person, a devotee in mode of neutrality, which is the same mode as impersonalists in the material world, they're saying, we don't even care. We don't even care. Whatever miseries are there, let there be. But we're happy in our constitutional position. So, for example, Madhavendra Puri, the spiritual master of the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya, his intrinsic form is a tree. In Golok Vrindavan, he's serving in the mode of neutrality as a tree. But he comes here in the material world and becomes such a pure devotee that he becomes the spiritual master of the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya, God himself. And that's the point being made. If you understand those mellows, transcendental mellows, and are able to follow one of them, then we don't have to worry about anything mundane. Okay? Any questions on that? I hope that's not confusing. Okay? All right, let's go to 36, 37. Ehi vancha jaiche Krishna prakatya karan asura sanghar anushang prayojan. Ehi mat Chaitanya Krishna purna bhagavan yuga dharma pravartan nahe tarkam. Translation: just as these desires are the fundamental reason for Krishna's appearance, whereas destroying the demons is only an incidental necessity, so for Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, promulgating the dharma of the dharma of the age is incidental. So let's make sure we understand this. It says, translation first line is saying, just as these desires, what desires are he referring to? This Krishna's desires being the fundamental reason. What are the desires of Krishna that's being referred to here?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it
Take
to
us
take
back.
all conditioned souls back to Godhead?
Back to God.
Sorry, Shalini Mata, say it again, please.
Is it to take all the conditioned souls back to Godhead?
Okay, that's true, but that's not being referred here. Chaitanya, you were saying something? Okay, anybody else wants to give it a try? What are the desires that's being referred to here?
Prabhuji, is it the Lord's desire to taste the Radha Rani's bhav that he wants to taste?
No, they're talking about reason, desire for Krishna to appear, not Lord Chaitanya to appear.
Oh,
He's talking about Krishna. See, the line says, just as these desires are the fundamental reason for Krishna's appearance.
so
Like
for
Krishna.
Krishna, it could be to do the loving pastimes with his devotees, to
Yes.
enjoy those loving pastimes like he
Yes.
does with his friends and gopis and Mother Yashoda.
Yes, exactly. So his desire is to enjoy
And follow.
and what?
And follow that line to do something according to that.
Okay, so to enjoy the loving pastimes
And
in any of the five mellows with
yeah.
his pure
Oh,
devotees.
okay.
And that's the reason he's coming
Mm.
to the material world. Otherwise, he's happy in the spiritual world, being served by all these Lakshmis. He has no need to come. Excuse me. And he says also, actually in text 18, he says, if somebody regards me as Supreme Personality of Godhead and himself as subordinate, which is what basically we do. We say, oh my God, Krishna is God and we are just servants. He says, I do not become subservient to that person's love. And that person cannot control me. So like we cannot control Krishna, which the Brijvasis could. Krishna does not become subservient to us, but he was subservient to Brijvasis like Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maiya, Radharani, etc., etc. What is the difference? The difference is that we are very conscious of his majesty. And he says that when a devotee is conscious of our majesty, the love becomes weak. And I don't enjoy that anymore. And that kind of love cannot control me, nor do I become subservient to that kind of love. But if a person thinks that I'm his son or her son and tries to control me, I become in the control of that person. If a friend or beloved thinks that they are superior to me, that they're taking care of me, that they love me without the knowledge that I'm God, then I become controlled by them. When the devotee considers themselves to be equal or greater than Krishna, Tumi kona bada, Tumi amasham. The friends of Krishna says, you're not bigger than us, we're equal. Actually, we are bigger than you. And Krishna says, I really appreciate that. When it's coming from pure heart, I really appreciate it. And I become subordinate to that kind of person, that kind of devotee. So he's saying, I'm coming down to taste the essence of these mellows in that mood. Okay? And then he says, I hope, and this is what 34 was saying, text 34 was saying, that I hope that by hearing about the pure love of the Brajvasis, other people like us on this call will want to progress to the point of Raga Bhakti, where we can abandon all kind of religiosity and fruitive activities and just serve him for his pleasure right from the heart, spontaneously, not because we've been told by the Guru or the Shastras, but because from the heart we want to do that. And 35 saying, actually, they must do that. We must get to that point where we're doing that. Okay? So that's the first line. Second line says, we're destroying the demons is only an incidental necessity. So actually, do you know that Krishna does not kill any demons? Did everybody know that?
Yes,
Krishna did not
Prabhu.
kill a single demon.
Yeah. His potencies do all the things.
No, not his potencies. No.
The Vishnu,
He's a Parshad, what we call that.
the Vishnu in Krishna kills him.
Correct, Ruchiramata, you're right. See, Krishna is the origin of all incarnations. So when Krishna appears, all incarnations appear with him, in him.
Yeah.
So Vishnu is appearing with him, in him. So it's
Yep.
Vishnu that kills the demons. Krishna is not interested. He's only interested in enjoying with the pure devotees. So here the second line is saying, destroying the demons is only an incidental necessity because they happen to be there to cause disturbance. Okay, they have to be killed, but Krishna is not killing them. Vishnu is killing them. But that is not the reason for Krishna's appearance. When Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasha dushkritam, he's not talking about himself. He's talking about his incarnations. Okay? Lord Nrsimhadev came to kill Hiranyakashipu, yes. Lord Ram came to kill Ravana and Kumbhakarna and all those people. But Krishna did not come to kill Bakasur, Ghasur, Putana and all that. That is not his purpose. Okay? Is that clear?
Yep.
So there's a primary reason, a secondary reason. So killing the demon is secondary reason. Similarly, for Lord Chaitanya, promulgating means propagating, spreading the dharma of the age is incidental. So what's the dharma of the age? Age of Kali? What is the dharma?
Sankirtan Yagya, Prabhu.
Sankirtan.
Correct. So that is secondary reason for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. That is not the primary reason. And we'll talk about what the primary reason is in this chapter, okay? So this is introducing the point. Starting the Sankirtan movement is not the primary reason for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Okay? All right. Let's go to text 38 then. कौन कारण है जब है अवतारे मन युग धर्म काल है से काले मिलन. When the Lord desired to appear for another reason, the time for promulgating the religion of the age also arose. It's just a coincidence. When the Lord decided I have to come down, and we'll talk about why, that also was the time when it's about time to spread the Krishna consciousness movement of Sankirtan Yajna. But again, that's a secondary reason. Everybody with me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, all right. Text 39. दुई हेतु अवतारी लोहिया भक्त गण आपने आस्वादे प्रेम नाम संकीर्तन. Translation. Thus, with two intentions, the Lord appeared with his devotees and tasted the nectar of prema with the congregational chanting of the holy name. So now they're going to talk about what those reasons are. Text 40. Sei dware achandale, kirtan sanchare, naam prema mala gathi, paraile sansare. Thus he spread kirtan even among the untouchables. He did not distinguish a PhD from illiterate, a Brahmin from a Shudra, or anything like that. He wove a wreath of the holy name and prema with which he garlanded the entire material world. So when you make a wreath, what do you need? To make a garland, what do you need?
Flowers.
Flowers
Thread.
and
Thread.
thread. Exactly.
Thread.
The flowers are the holy name and the love for Krishna. That's what the garland is being made. But what is the thread? Thread is Lord Chaitanya himself. Like there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 7. Krishna is saying, Matta partaram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Maidam sarvam protam sutre muni gana iva. He says, there's no higher truth than me. I am the one who's keeping all these planets together, just like a string keeps all the pieces of pearls together. So same idea here. It's Lord Chaitanya who's keeping all these flowers together in a garland, consisting of the holy name and the love of Krishna. Okay, clear? Okay, text 41. Aimat bhakti bhav kari angikar, apani achari bhakti karil prachar. In this way, assuming the sentiments of a devotee. Which devotee was that, by the way? This Krishna assuming the sentiment of a devotee. Which devotee is being referred to here? Radharani. So Krishna takes the mood of sentiments of Radharani. He preached devotional service while practicing it himself. So he practiced it and preached it at the same time, but having taken the mood of pure devotee Radharani. This is Krishna. And when he does that, he becomes Lord Chaitanya. Krishna, when he takes the mood of Radharani, becomes Lord Chaitanya. Correct? So now we talk about Lord Chaitanya here. Purport. Who wants to read the first paragraph?
I can read it, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead, Gautam Prabhu.
When Rupa Goswami met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayaga, he offered his respectful obeisances by submitting that Lord Chaitanya was more magnanimous than any other avatar of Krishna, because he was distributing love of Krishna. His mission was to enhance love of Godhead. In the human form of life, the highest achievement is to attain the platform of love of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya did not invent a system of religion as people sometimes assume. Religious systems are meant to show the existence of God, who is then generally approached as a cosmic order supplier. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's transcendental mission is to distribute love of Godhead to everyone. Anyone who accepts God as the Supreme can take to the process of chanting Hare Krishna and become a lover of God. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya is the most magnanimous. This munificent broadcasting of devotional service is possible only for Krishna himself. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. So what's this verse that's being referred to here? It was chanted by Rupa Goswami. It's actually also the Pranami mantra of Lord Chaitanya. First session, we've forgotten everything.
Namo Mahavadanaya.
Yes, go ahead.
Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratritya Namaha.
Okay. So Mahavadanya means most beneficial. Right? So that's the Pranami mantra. That's basically this paragraph talking about that. That Lord Chaitanya was more magnanimous than any other avatar of Krishna. So that's the Mahavadanya, because it's distributing the love of Krishna. The most valuable thing in the world is love of Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya is distributing it freely. It's the highest achievement for human beings. Lord Chaitanya again giving it for free. But this is not an invention by Lord Chaitanya. Some people say he invented this. No, it's been there eternally. The Holy Naam Sankirtan has been there eternally. Lord Chaitanya basically came to remind us that, hey, this is what it's supposed to be. Okay? And because he gave something so valuable, he's the most munificent because he did not consider any qualifications. Okay. Let's do the next paragraph, please.
I can read, Prabhu.
Please go ahead.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has taught the philosophy of surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who has surrendered to the Supreme can make further progress by learning to love him. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement propagated by Lord Chaitanya is especially meant for those who are cognizant of the presence of the Supreme Godhead, the ultimate controller of everything. His mission is to teach people how to dovetail themselves into engagements of transcendental loving service. He is Krishna teaching his own service from the position of a devotee. The Lord's acceptance of the rule of a devotee in the eternal form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is another of the Lord's wonderful features. A conditioned soul cannot reach the absolute personality of Godhead by his imperfect endeavor, and therefore it is wonderful that Lord Sri Krishna, in the form of Lord Gauranga, has made it easy for everyone to approach him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, right off the bat, in the first line, a very important point is being made. And that is, you cannot love someone without surrendering to that person. Do you all agree with that?
Yeah.
No surrender means no
absolutely.
love. And real love means surrender. So, to love Krishna, the first thing that's required is
Surrendering.
surrender to him.
Surrender.
Now, second point is, you will not surrender somebody who's inferior to you. Right?
Yeah.
You only surrender to somebody who's superior. And the ultimate surrender is to the Supreme Person. So unless you understand and agree and accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you do not surrender. So
Correct.
understand that Krishna is Supreme God, then to surrender, and then you can love. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Yes.
here, saying Lord Chaitanya, it's a movement is especially meant for those who agree Krishna is God. But otherwise, why would you want to love him? And it says here, most people serve Krishna. Why? Because they want him to be their order supplier. My dear Krishna, I offer you obeisances. Please, get my son married. My dear Krishna, I have brought you, $5 for gift, and please make sure I get my promotion. On and on and on. The list is endless. That is not love. Krishna is not our order supplier. Krishna is our friend, he's our lover, he's our parent, he's our everything. But unless we accept that and only want to use him for our own purposes, it's not going to work. By definition, love means we want to satisfy the person we love. So loving Krishna means only doing things that will satisfy Krishna. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Atmendire Priti Vansha, Tare Bole Kam. Krishnendire Priti Vansha, Dhare Prem Naam. When we try to satisfy our own senses, it's called Kam, lust. When we try to satisfy the senses of Krishna, it's called love. So Lord Chaitanya taught us how to love Krishna, not how to lust Krishna. Most of us lust Krishna because we want something from him for our satisfaction. But Lord Chaitanya taught us how to love Krishna, meaning doing things for him. Another point being made here is that if you tell a student of a elementary school, this is how you write A, this is how you write B, this is how you write C, they may learn, may not learn properly. But you hold their hand and show them how to write it, they learn it much easier. So Krishna said, I've shown them what this Braj Bhakti is about. But they're not going to learn it unless I do it. I show them how to do it. So that's another reason he comes to show us how to serve in the mood of the Brajvasis, any of the 5 mellows. Is that point clear?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, good. Let's go to the next paragraph. Somebody wants to read the next paragraph?
I can read it, Prabhu.
Please go ahead.
Swarup Damodara Goswami had described Lord Chaitanya as Krishna himself with the attitude of Radharani or a combination of Radha and Krishna. The intention of Lord Chaitanya is to taste Krishna's sweetness is transcendental love. He does not care to think of himself as Krishna because he wants the position of Radharani. We should remember this. A class of so-called devotees called the Nadya Nagaris or Gaura Nagaris pretend that they have the sentiments of gopis towards Lord Chaitanya, but they do not realize that he placed himself not as the enjoyer, Krishna, but as the enjoyed, the devotees of Krishna. The concoctions of unauthorized persons pretending to be bona fide have not been accepted by Lord Chaitanya. Presentations such as those of the Gaura Nagaris are only disturbances to the sincere execution of the mission of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is undoubtedly Krishna himself, and he is always not different from Srimati Radharani. But the emotion technically called Vipralamba Bhava, which the Lord adopted for confidential reasons, should not be disturbed in the name of service. A mundaner should not unnecessarily intrude into affairs of transcendence and thereby displease the Lord. One must always be on guard against this sort of devotional anomaly. A devotee is not meant to create disturbances to Krishna. As Srila Rupa Goswami has explained, devotional service is anukulyena or favorable to Krishna. Acting unfavorably toward Krishna is not devotion. Kamsa was the enemy of Krishna. He always thought of Krishna, but he thought of him as an enemy. One should always avoid such unfavorable so-called service.
Great, thank you. So, is everyone clear that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the mood of Radharani? Is everybody clear on that?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
what does that mean? Who does Lord Chaitanya think he is? Does he think he's Krishna or does he think he's Radharani?
He thinks he is Radharani.
Radharani.
Okay, so he thinks he's Radharani. Now you go to him and say, no, you're wrong. You forgot you're Krishna. And therefore I'm going to serve you as a gopi and you are Krishna. How is he going to feel? Lord Chaitanya, is he going to be pleased?
Not nice.
Not nice.
Disturbed.
He'll feel disturbed, right? What is his mood? It's called Vipralamba Bhav. Vipralamba Bhav means Radharani missing Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya is always crying, like Radharani would when missing Krishna, which is all the time. And in that mood, you go and say, no, why are you crying? You're Krishna yourself. How can you miss yourself? Is he going to be happy? No. So Prabhupada is talking about this group of people who say, no, we are gopis, you are Krishna, so let us serve you. And they think they can please Lord Chaitanya. No, they're not. They're actually really upsetting him. They're upsetting his mood, they're upsetting him. So we have to be always cognizant of the fact that yes, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, but his mood is of Radharani. So we deal with Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, as if he is Radharani. Okay? Because otherwise, you're not favorable to his mood. His mood is, I'm Radharani. And if you know you're Krishna, then you're not favorable to his mood. And that is not bhakti. Anukulam Krishna Anushilna Bhakti Uttama. Right? Any questions on that? Okay. Let's go to the next paragraph. Who wants to read that?
I can read more.
Please go ahead.
Lord Chaitanya has accepted the role of Radharani, and we should support that position, as Sarup Damodara did in the Gambhira, the room where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Puri. He always reminded Lord Chaitanya of Radha's feeling of separation as they are described in Srimad Bhagavatam, and Lord Chaitanya appreciated his assistance. But the Gaura Nagaris Gauran agrees, who place the Lord Chaitanya in the position of enjoyer and themselves as is enjoyed, are not approved of Lord Chaitanya or by Lord Chaitanya's followers. Instead of being blessed, the foolish intimators are left completely apart. Their concoctions are against the principles of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The doctrine of transcendental enjoyment by Krishna cannot be mixed up with the doctrine of transcendental feelings of separation from Krishna in the role of Radha Rani.
Sure. So again, same point being made again. By the way, does everybody know who Swarup Damodar is? That's being referred to here. Who's Swarup Damodar?
Prabhuji is Lalita Sakhi.
Okay, but that's Lalita Sakhi appearing as Swarup Damodar. But who's Swarup Damodar in the Lila here? So not. I'm sorry, Usha.
He was one of the acharyas.
Well, okay, but he was really one of the two very close, confidant associates of Lord Chaitanya. So
Yes,
one
so
of
he was personal secretary, I guess, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
he was, yes, he was. But so Ramanand Roy and Swarup Damodar were the two confidential associates of Lord Chaitanya who spent all their time with him. And they were Lalita and Vishakha Sakhis. So they understood Krishna's mood, they understood Radharani's mood as Lalita and Vishakha. So they also understood Lord Chaitanya's mood, which is Krishna in the mood of Radharani. So they also understood that this is Krishna in the mood of Radharani, missing Krishna. So therefore, they always talk about topics. We talked about how much Radharani missed Krishna, just supporting the mood of Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. So contrasting that with the Gauranagris, who are trying to disturb his mood, saying, no, you're Krishna. Swarup Damodar, Damodar will say, you're Radharani missing Krishna. And they talk about topics of verses for Bhagavatam that supported that point. And therefore, they were very dear to Lord Chaitanya. Okay? So again, the whole point of this purport is that we must be very clear in our mind that yes, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, but his mood is Radharani's mood. Therefore, let's not go to him and insist, no, you are Krishna. Okay? And the reason, the external reason, not internal reason, externally he took the mood of Radharani is to show us how to serve Krishna. Okay, is that part clear? Because that's a very important point.
Yes.
To show us how to serve Krishna in the mood of Brajvasis, in the mood of Radharani herself. Okay. Text 42. Dasya Sakhya Vatsalya Arjay Shringar Chari Prem Chaturvid Bhaktai Adhar. 4 kinds of devotees are the receptacles of the 4 kinds of mellows in love of God, namely servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. So, a pop quiz. Can anybody give me the names of 2 servants of Krishna? 2 prominents of the Krishna when he was in Vrindavan.
Balaram and...
No, Balaram was not servant.
No, of Krishna's?
Of Krishna, Lord Krishna.
Was
The
it
role was...
Sridham?
Sorry?
Sridham?
No, their friend.
They were friends.
They used to serve him, right?
Of course, everybody served Krishna, but designated as servant of Krishna. The mood of servitude only. That they were not sakhas. The sakha can be servant also. And that's what Sridhama was. Nanda Maharaj was servant also, was a parent. This servant, not sakha, not parent, not conjugal. Okay, anyway, 2 names, Raktak and Patrak, the very prominent servants of Krishna. Raktak, R-A-K-T-A-K. And Patrak, P-A-T-R-A-K.
Patrak.
Give me 2 names of the friends. or friendship mode.
Mansukha and Shridham.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's enough. And of course, parental and conjugal, you know.
Mm,
Okay, text 43. निज निज भाव सब श्रेष्ठ करी माने निज भाव करे Krishna sukha aswadane. This is a very important verse. Let's make sure we understand this. Translation. Each kind of devotee feels that his sentiment is the most excellent. And thus, in that mood, it tastes great happiness with Lord Krishna. So, as we know, Ramananda Roy told Lord Chaitanya that highest mellow is what? What's the highest mellow?
Madhurya.
Madhurya or conjugal, right?
Conjugal.
Next lower is
Vatsalya.
Vatsalya, parental. Next lower is
Sakhyam.
Sakyam, friendship. Next lower is
Dasyam.
Dasyam, servitorship.
And
And next
Shant.
lower is
Shant.
Shant, neutrality,
Shant.
right? So, and I also know that the higher ones include the characteristic of the lower ones.
Correct.
Madhurya has got all 5, right? Vatsal has only 4. Sakya has only 3. Das has only 2. Shant has only 1. Okay, everybody clear on that point?
Yes.
Yes,
So, and Ramananda used the word is successively higher mellow. But here's a point being made here, that every devotee in any of those mellows thinks there is the most excellent sentiment. So the one is Shantara is not aspiring to become servant. When his servant is not aspiring to become Sakha. When his Sakha is not aspiring to become parent. And parent is certainly not aspiring to become conjugal. They all think their own mellow is the highest. It's like sometimes people ask, well, what about people in the Vaikuntha Lok? Do they aspire to go to Golok? No, they don't. They don't, because they're very happy in whatever mood they are in, whatever place they're in, whatever situation they're in, very happy. Okay? So I want to make sure you understood that people are not aspiring to go to the higher mellow. Whatever their mellow is, they think that's the best. Okay. Text 44. तटस्थ होया मने विचार यदि करी सब रस होते शंगारे अधिक माधुरी. Now, kind of this flipping it here. If we compare sentiments in an impartial mood, okay, like third party observer, we find that the conjugal sentiment is superior to all other sweetness. This is what I was saying before. Ramananda Roy said conjugal is the highest. But the people in the particular mellow don't think like that. To an impartial observer, conjugal is the highest. But to one in the Sakha mood, Sakha is the best. Okay, everybody clear on that? Or is that confusing?
Impartial mood is confusing, right?
Sorry?
Can you explain it again, like impartial mood?
So impartial is, buddy, a person who's not in any of those.
Okay.
So like you and me.
Yeah.
Right? So Ramananda Raj said,
yeah,
conjugal is
I
highest.
got it.
Okay. But Subal may not agree.
Okay.
Chidam may not agree. Okay. And then purport gets even more interesting. Read the purport. I need a volunteer.
I can read Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Madhumataji.
No one is higher or lower than anyone else in the transcendental relationship. There is some disturbance. No one is higher or lower than anyone else in the transcendental relationship with the Lord. For in the absolute realm, everything is equal. But although these relationships are absolute, there are also transcendental differences between them. Thus, the transcendental relationship of conjugal love is considered the highest perfection.
Right. So again, from an impartial perspective, that's the case. But when you think about it in the transcendental world, there's no such thing as higher and lower. Right? Everything is equal. But the differences can be not material but transcendental. That's the confusing part. So in the transcendental world, an impartial person like Krishna, who's not in any of those, thinks conjugal is the highest. But Nanda Maharaj doesn't think so. So Sridhama doesn't think so. Okay. 45. Yathottaram asoswada visheshollasamai api ratirvasanaya swadevi swadvi bhasate kapi kasyachit. Translation. Increasing love is experienced in various tastes, one above another. But that love, which has the highest taste in the gradual succession of desire, manifests itself in the form of conjugal love. So again, proving the point that conjugal love is the highest. Why? Because the taste, the love, is the highest taste in conjugal love. Okay. Text 46. अतैव मधुर रस कहितार नाम स्वकिया परकिया भावे द्विविध संस्थान. Therefore, I call it madhura ras or madhura ras. There's two further divisions, namely wedded and unwedded love. Okay, so before I go to next paragraph, next stanza, let's make sure we're clear on this. Are we clear why conjugal love is considered the highest? Are we also clear why a devotee in any particular mellow does not aspire for higher mellow? They're very happy in the mellow they are in. They think that's super excellent, whatever they're in. Those points are clear or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, great. Okay, in that case, let's move on. Now, it's going to be made more confusing. The Madhuri Ras comes in two features, divisions. Okay, Parakiya Bhav and Swakiya Bhav, wedded and unwedded. Text 47. Parakiya Bhave ati raser ullas, braj bina ihar anyatra nahi vas. There's great increase of mellow in the unwedded conjugal mood. Such love is found nowhere but in Braja. Okay, so unwedded conjugal mood is considered superior to wedded conjugal mood. But please understand, we're talking about the spiritual world. In the material world, unwedded love is considered immoral, not approved, and sinful activity. Why? Because it's for our own self-gratification. In the spiritual world, because everything is for Krishna's satisfaction, and there's no such thing as the mundane sexual acts. This is considered even higher because of the feeling of anticipation, feeling of fear of being caught, that increases the pleasure of meeting. The two devotees I'm sure you all have heard of, Jatila and Kutila. Who were they?
Mother-in-law of Radharani. Mother of Abhimanyu. Yeah.
Okay, so mother-in-law, sister-in-law of Radharani. Everybody knows that, right? They're pure devotees. The purest of the devotees. But what is their role?
To keep eye on Radharani.
True, but for what purpose?
So that she cannot meet Krishna.
Correct. Their role is to stop Radharani from meeting Krishna, or to put obstacles in the path of their meeting. Now, why would you want to do that?
To increase the mellow.
Exactly. When Radharani is afraid of being caught, when Krishna is being afraid of caught and they meet, this is more exciting. When somebody's trying to stop them and they still meet, it's more exciting. Does everybody agree? Even in the mundane world. Even in the mundane world. So like, for example, if something is given to you very easily, you don't value it so much. When you work very hard for something, then you get it, you actually value it. Right? Same thing. So it was their role, pure devotee, apparently doing something against the wishes of Krishna. and Radharani, but actually doing it for their pleasure.
Yeah.
A great role it is. And they're willing to accept the criticism of the world for eternity, for the service of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. How high is that? So same thing, unwedded love in Braja is higher than wedded love in Braja. Not in the material world, the spiritual world. Because we are all talking about simply the pleasure of Krishna. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes.
So it says that there's a great increase of mellow in the unwedded conjugal love. But such love is found nowhere but in Braja. So not anywhere else. We don't want anything like this outside of Braja. 48. Brajavadhu ganer ei bhav nirbadhi tar madhya shiradhai bhaver avadhi. This mood is unbounded in the damsels of Braja, but among them it finds its perfection in Shri Radha. This is why Radharani was shadow married to Abhimanyu. So there will be obstacles. That's why other gopis were shadow married to the Gopas. So there will be obstacles. And change the mood from wedded love to unwedded love. With all these obstacles, the excitement, the love, the pleasure grows. It's higher than even the wedded love. Do you see where we're going with this? We're going to understand the reason why Krishna appeared in the mood of Radharani. He's slowly building it up to that point. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Text 49. Praud nirmala bhav prem sarvottam krishnere madhuri ras aswad karan. Her meaning Radharani. Her pure, mature love surpasses that of all others. Nobody can love Krishna like Radharani. Her love is the supreme. Her love is the cause of Krishna's tasting the sweetness of the conjugal relationship. It is that love of Radharani that Krishna wants to taste in his conjugal relationship. And that is why there may be 3 billion gopis. But Radharani is not there, Krishna takes off. 3 billion gopis love him more than they love themselves. They love him more than their own life. They're willing to risk everything. But Krishna wants Radharani. He wants to taste her love. And that's exactly what happened in Ras Lila. When Radharani left, Krishna said, I can't stay here. There are 3 billion gopis there, all loving him more than their own lives. Krishna said, I can't stay here. He left also. Okay? That's the glory of Radharani's love. Okay? Text 50. अतएव सही भाव अंगीकार करी साधिलेन निजवांछा गौरांग श्री हरि. Krishna is slowly building the internal reasons, confidential reasons for Krishna's appearance in Lord Chaitanya. Translation, text 50. Therefore, Lord Gauranga, Shri Hari himself accepted the sentiments of Radha and thus fulfilled his own desires. So what is he trying to do? He's trying to taste the love that Radharani tastes as lover of Krishna. Krishna cannot be his own lover. Although some people in mundane world, they're totally in love with themselves. But still the taste is not the same. Right? The taste that a wife or a girlfriend has in her mouth, or a boyfriend or husband has in their mouth, it's not the same as the person themselves. So Krishna says, I cannot taste that love that Radharani has for my love. So he said, I need to taste that, I'll take the mood of Radharani. Okay, as I said, it's slowly building towards the real reasons. Is this point clear? What's Krishna thinking here? Okay, then let's do the purport. Somebody wants to read the first paragraph? Anybody who's not ready so far?
Yes, Prabhu, I can read.
Krishna Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah. Of the four kinds of reciprocation of loving service, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, Madhurya is considered the fullest. The conjugal relationship is further divided into two varieties, namely Swakya and Parakya.
That's the wedded and unwedded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swakya is the relationship with Krishna as a formally married husband, and Parakya is the relationship with Krishna as a paramour. Expert analysts have decided that the transcendental ecstasy of the Parakya mellow is better because it is more enthusiastic. This phase of conjugal love is found in those who have surrendered to the Lord in intense love, knowing well that such illicit love with a paramour is not morally approved in society. The risks involved in such love of Godhead make this emotion superior to the relationship in which such risk is not involved. The validity of such risk, however, is possible only in the transcendental realm. Sukya and Parakya conjugal love of Godhead have no existence in the material world, and Parakya is not exhibited anywhere in Vaikuntha, but only in the portion of Golok Vrindavan known as Vraj.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting is making the point that Parakiya Bhav does not exist in Vaikuntha. Why is that?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In Vaikuntha, it is the mood of reverence, Prabhu.
Correct. Absolutely. Therefore, even the Madhurya Ras is only in name. When did you last see Lord Vishnu hugging Mother Lakshmi? Did you ever see Lord Vishnu dancing with Mother Lakshmi? How often do you see them laughing together? How often do you see them eating together?
No.
How often do you see them engage in a long conversation? What do you normally see? What kind of picture do we see?
Ma Lakshmi massaging his feet.
Exactly.
Every time.
That's the most common picture of Vishnu and Lakshmi, Narayana and Lakshmi. Why? Because the awe and reverence is there. So Madhur is there only in name. You're my wife, but that's it. There's no play going on. There's no teasing going on. You know, you all know about Dwarka Lila, which is Ashwarya Bhav also. And that's one time only, that Krishna teased Mother Rukmani, who's Lakshmi. What happened? Does anybody know?
She fainted.
She fainted.
Yeah.
And what was the joke? He simply said, "You're a princess. Why did you marry me? I'm just a gwala, cowherd boy. I'm not a king. I don't deserve you." And she fainted. And she said, "Wait a minute, I was just joking." But the mood of awe and reverence is so strong, jokes are not appreciated in the way they are appreciated in Brajabhav. You know, I still remember, I don't know, 100 years ago, when I became a manager for the first time, one of the things I was told by my boss was that you can no longer joke around with your employees, your subordinates, until you establish a relationship which is more than boss and employee. Because you can make a joke and they'll take you very seriously. For example, you know, I can say to a friend, "You're such a fool," and they laugh. Try telling your employee, "You're such a fool," they'll faint. They'll think they're getting fired, right? So that's the point. So in Vaikuntha, the mood of awe and reverence is there. In Vrajabhav, it's totally absent, completely absent. This is why in Kurukshetra, in Dwarka Lila, Lord Krishna told Arjun, "Surrender to me." Sudhan Padyaja Mamekam Sharanam Braj. Imagine him telling to one of the friends in Vrindavan, "Surrender to me." And they say, "Why should I surrender to you? You surrender to me." Nobody would listen to him because the mood is different. So Parakiya Bhav does not exist in Vaikuntha. And Parakiya Bhav is not accepted in the material world. It exists, unfortunately, but it's not accepted. It's considered immoral, illicit, all those kind of things. Only in Vedanta. Okay? So that's one point. Second point being made is that in Braja, Parkiya Bhav does increase the risk of being caught. But that increased risk also brings in the excitement. And of course, they're taking the risk simply because they surrendered completely. In the old days, there was a song, "Chahe maa roothe ya baba, maine to haan kar di." My father wants to get angry, my mother wants to get angry, I don't care. I said yes to my boyfriend. I'm marrying him. So, who cares about the risks? So same thing in Bridgedham. Who cares about the risks? They want to call me a woman of bad character, let them do that. They want to leave me, let them do that. I'm going to buy Krishna. Okay. So again, establishing the superiority of that mood. Okay. Let's go to the next chapter, next paragraph. Any volunteers?
I can read it, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Some devotees think that Krishna is eternally the enjoyer in Goloka Vrindavana, but only sometimes comes to the platform of Vraja to enjoy Paratya Rasa. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana, however, have explained that Krishna's pastimes in Vraja are eternal, like his other activities in Goloka Vrindavana. Vraja is a confidential part of Goloka Vrindavana. Krishna exhibited his Vraja pastimes on the surface of this world, and similar pastimes are eternally exhibited in Vraja in Goloka Vrindavana, where Paratya Rasa is ever existent.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So in the next chapter, we'll see the construction, the structure of Golok Vrindavan, which has 3 parts. It's got Dwarka, Mathura, and the center, Vrindavan. Krishna resides in Vrindavan. And that's where the Parkiya Bhav is. Okay, it's not in Dwarka, it's not in Mathura. Okay. And the point is that all these pasas are eternal and known as Nitya lives. They're always happening. It's not like sometimes it comes down, sometimes it doesn't. No, it's always happening eternally. Okay. Remember, Dwarka Krishna is not same as Vrindavan Krishna. Everybody knows that, right?
Yep.
The mood is different. Everything is different. Form is different. Okay. All right. Next paragraph, please.
I can read, Prabhu.
Please go ahead.
The third chapter of this epic, Sri Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami has explicitly accepted the fact that Krishna appears in this material world at the end of Dwapara age of 28th Chaturayuga of Vishwatamanu, and brings with him his Vrajadharma, which is the eternal abode of his highest pastimes. As the Lord appears by his own internal potency, so he also brings all his paraphernalia by the same internal potency, without extraneous help. It is further stated here in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the parakya sentiment exists only in the transcendental realm and nowhere else. The highest form of ecstasy can exist only in the most confidential part of the transcendental world, but by the costless mercy of the Lord, we can have a peep into that in that visible Raja.
Yeah. So again, same point I was making before, only exists in Vrindavan or Brajadham. And when Krishna appears in Braja, in the Bhumi Vrindavan, he brings that mood also here. Okay, but doesn't exist anywhere else. He has no Parkiya Bhav in Dwarka and Mathura. Okay. Next paragraph, please.
I can read through.
Please go ahead.
The transcendental mellow relished by the gopis in Vraja is super excellently featured in Srimati Radharani. Mature assimilation of the transcendental humor of conjugal love is represented by Srimati Radharani, whose feelings are incomprehensible, even to the Lord himself. The intensity of her loving service is the highest form of ecstasy. No one can surpass Srimati Radharani in relishing the qualities of the Lord through this supreme transcendental mellow. Therefore, the Lord himself agreed to assume the position of Radharani in the form of Lord Sri Gauranga. He then relished the highest position of Parakiya Rasa, as exhibited in the transcendental abode of Raja.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. So, first point being made is that Radharani has the highest stage of the mellow of Madhurya Ras. That's one point. It is so high that these feelings are incomprehensible even to Lord Krishna. Even Lord Krishna is not able to understand or comprehend the feelings of Radharani. Okay, that's one point. The intensity of her loving service is the highest form of ecstasy. No one can surpass Radharani in relation to the qualities of the Lord through this mellow. Therefore, the Lord himself agreed to assume the position of Radharani in the form of Lord Chaitanya or Lord Gauranga. So, it is so high that even Krishna does not comprehend. What is this? What's the glory of this love? What's the pleasure she's getting? How does she feel? So he's saying here that to understand that, to comprehend that, but Krishna says, I'm going to take the mood of Radharani so I can understand this. Otherwise, there's no way for me to understand. So again, slowly building towards the confidential reasons of Krishna's appearance as Lord Chaitanya. Okay, is that clear? Okay, so I'm going to stop here and open for any questions or comments.
Prabhuji, since we just talked about Golok Vrindavan is in 3 parts, Mathura, Vrindavan, and Dwarka. So after developing that Krishna's love, let's say somebody develops at the end of his lifetime. So if somebody goes to Golok Vrindavan, I'm sure they go as per the love they have. For example, somebody have affection for Dwarikadish, so then he or she will go to Mathura in Golok Vrindavan, and somebody loves Krishna like as a son or some or a friend, then they will go to Vrindavan in Golok Vrindavan. Does it happen like that?
Yeah, so it depends upon your mood and which devotee you're following. So remember, if you go back to the different types of bhakti, first is sadhana bhakti, which has 2 parts, right? First part is Vaidhi bhakti, the one that we are doing with rules and regulations. And the purpose of that is to move to the point of Raganuga bhakti. Raganuga bhakti is where you're starting to develop some spontaneous attraction for Krishna, and you're following in the footsteps of one particular devotee in the mellow that you are inclined to. So, for example, if you're inclined to Vatsalya Ras, then you may be taking the shelter of Mother Yashoda or Nanda Maharaj or Mother Nanda Maharaj and following in the footsteps, meaning serving them, you're serving Krishna. So, if you achieve perfection, then you will go to Vrindavan.
Okay.
In a form that is a parental form.
So in this case, so let's say somebody is in the mood of servitorship, then that person goes to Mathura, correct? In Golok.
No. That's what I'm saying. You can be a servant without understanding that he is his Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the Raktak Patak example I was giving. Servants in Vrindavan are different from servants in Mathura and Dwarka.
Right.
So if you're serving and having taken shelter of a servant in Vrindavan, and you're losing the sense of Krishna being God, then you go to Vrindavan.
Correct.
If you're taking shelter of a servant in Mathura or Dwarka, and you have understanding of the majesty of Krishna, then you'll go to Mathura or Dwarka. The difference between Mathura and Dwarka is that in Mathura there's a mixture of Madhurya and Ashwarya. In Vrindavan is pure Madhurya.
Yes.
In Mathura is mixture of Madhurya and Ashwarya. In Dwarka, this also Ashwarya Madhurya, but less Madhurya, more Ashwarya. So the 16,108 queens, Madhurya Ras was there, but always with the full knowledge Krishna is God.
Okay.
So did I answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, it's as per the devotee under whom we take shelter.
Yeah, and your own mood.
Yeah. Your own mood. Okay. And Prabhuji, one more. It's a little complicated, but I understood the difference between Parakya and Aparakya Bhav, varied and
Parakya
unvaried
and
love.
Swakya.
Did you say Vaikuntha, this varied Parakya Bhav should not be there, or it should be there?
No, it is not there.
It is not there, but it should be there because it's more formal. It's more of about respect and.
So let's understand what Parakya Swakya Bhav is. What is Parakya Bhav in your understanding?
Parakya Bhav is when you're married and that kind of love exists in material world.
No. You didn't finish the answer yet. Explain to me again what is Parakya Bhav.
Parakya Bhav is it's when there is lust and there is no pure love.
No. So let me explain again. Parakya Bhav is when a person is married to another person. So let's say Rekha is married to Mahesh, but Rekha is in love with Suresh. That is Parakya Bhav.
Okay.
And that doesn't exist in Vaikuntha.
Okay, fine.
In Vrindavan, Radharani, for example, is quote unquote married to Abhimanyu, but in love with Krishna. That is Parakya Bhav.
Okay. Understood, Prabhuji, yes.
Okay. So everybody else clear on that?
Prabhu, what's the English for Parakya Bhav?
Unwedded love.
But it comes under conjugal, right?
They're both conjugal.
Conjugal, wedded and unwedded, right?
Yeah. The two divisions of conjugal, wedded and unwedded. Parakya and Swakya. If it's not clear, please ask.
So the other gopis were in Parakya Bhav.
Correct.
Which is not favorable in this material world, though.
Oh, please don't even think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. So this world is full of nasty things.
Yes, correct. Okay.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Prabhu, what?
You mentioned that in Dwarka Lila there is some madhurya, and the other one is the Aishwarya, awe and reverence. So most of the time they are in awe and reverence only, right?
No, not only. I mean, their wife, this madhurya, but if, for example, you see even in the material world, see some marriages, I've seen at least, where wife is so almost worshipful mood of her husband. It's always up and Swami and all those kind of things, and never argue. Whatever husband says goes. I mean, then you would think, there's no lalai, there's no madhurya. There has to be some disagreement, some independent opinion, and then this madhurya. Madhurya implies equality also. In Ashwar Bhav, there's no equality.
Prabhuji, what message should we get?
Our message is that we should have madhurya, not Ashwarya.
Yeah.
Right? Equal partners.
And reverence and respect, and that's it.
Well, I think in the material world, it should be more respect than anything else. Because without respect, nothing counts as far as I'm concerned. What good is madhurya if there's no respect? No. In any marriage, respect is the most important ingredient.
Correct.
In my mind, I may be wrong, but in my mind, respect followed by friendship. Those two things are missing. It's not marriage. This is a certificate. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel.
So, Prabhuji, you are right.
Okay, then Prabhu, you are asking a question? You're on mute, Prabhu.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So the mood in which, so actually this is like a follow-up question, like from the previous to previous questions, like the answers, question and answers. So the mood in which devotee is like serving Krishna, right? Like that is depending on that, like he can go to Vrindavan or Dwaraka or Mathura. Now, but that is not like that cannot be like consistent, right? Like meaning it can change, right? Is it like, okay, once we follow that path, is it like fixed? I mean, I don't know if it is like
I understand your question.
Can it be fixed?
So, Prabhu, first of all, I'm very glad you asked this question because I think it's going to remove a lot of misunderstandings. So, first of all, we, the conditioned souls, are not what's being talked about in this chapter. This chapter is talking about pure devotees. So, we are not in any of those mellows that is being talked about. We are simply sadhakas, conditioned souls trying to understand the philosophy so we can develop some degree of love for Krishna. That's who we are. So for us, Swakiya, Parkiya, they don't apply. We're not there. We can only be a servant of Krishna. Actually, servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya made this very clear. He says, and this is in the Padyavali and also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says, Naham Vipro, Nacha Narpati, Napi Vaishyo, Na Shudro. Naham Varni, Nacha Grahapati, no vanastho yatirva. Let me explain those two lines first, then about the next two lines. Lord Chaitanya is saying, I'm not a Brahmin, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Shudra. I'm not a sannyasi, I'm not a brahmachari, I'm not a grihastha, I'm not vanprastha. They say, who are you then? I mean, all the 8 are taken care of. Who are you? Lord Chaitanya says, next two lines. Kintu prodyan, nikhil paramanand, purnamitabdher, gopi bhartur, padakamalyor, das dasanudas. Who am I? I'm simply the servant of the servant of the servant of the husband of the gopis, Lord Krishna, which is a reservoir of infinite pleasure. So we are servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna. That's all we are. That is our identity. There's no identity of us beyond that. So all these things we have talked about today, they were the pure devotees of Braja. It's not for us. So don't try to think, am I Parkiya Bhav or am I Swakiya Bhav? Am I in conjugal? We're simply servant of the servant of the servant. That's it. That is our identity. Okay, I'm really glad you asked that question because otherwise there could have been some confusion in the mind of other people.
Okay. I think like there was like second question that I was about to ask, but I think like this kind of answered. Like anyway, I will like continue asking that.
So go ahead.
So I was about to ask, like which path should we follow? Like which kind of devotion should we follow? Like I mean, how do we know is what I was about to ask, but I think
in our case, simply we're the servant of the servant of the servant, which we are servant of our guru, the servant of our senior devotees, and that's all we are. So don't try to do anything else. Try to be a servant of the servant. Try to serve your guru, try to serve the senior devotees, follow the instructions, follow the footsteps, listen to their classes, and listen to their guidelines, get their guidance, and that's all we are. Try to be anything more, you'll fall down. Forgive my blunt words. But
No. That is very very nice, Prabhuji. I mean, nicely put. But then I have like one follow up question again.
Sure.
Then why are we even like exposed to these information? Like this is like kind of confusing, right? Like I mean, or like falsely showing us there is something more than what we are. Like I mean, what we can be. I mean, like this is like source of confusion is what I'm thinking now.
Yeah, no, you ask excellent questions, Prabhu. I have to appreciate that. How would you ever love a person you don't understand? Can you ever love a person you don't understand?
No.
So if you don't understand Krishna, how would you ever love him? And what's the highest goal in our life? To love Krishna. So this is all a process to get to the point where we can love Krishna. Otherwise, we love Krishna for our reasons. Krishna will protect me. Krishna will give me money. Krishna will give me a nice house, nice wife, nice husband, good children, nice job, in a nice place, nice cars. That's how what to think of Krishna. That means you don't understand Krishna. That is not Krishna. Similarly, we may think, oh, Krishna comes to kill the demons. Well, Krishna doesn't even have to create demons. Why do you bother coming to kill him?
Yeah.
Right? How will you ever understand all that if nobody told you? So all these scriptures, all these classes, all these lectures have only one purpose. Help us understand who is Krishna.
Correct.
What does he want from us? That's all we're doing.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Okay.
So,
This is, by the way,
Prabhuji,
this is not Rukmini Sudha. This is Damodar Charan. Oh, you're mute. You went on mute.
I was just letting the people know that please stay quiet for a second.
Oh,
So,
okay,
and-
sure.
so Prabhuji, I have a question. Then in that case, we say that we have to follow Vaidhi Bhakti, right? We do follow Vaidhi Bhakti, but Vaidhi Bhakti again is bound by the scriptural injunctions. Like it's about knowledge, like no, of course it is required, no doubt in that. But if we keep on following that only, then how will we ever come to the stage of loving Krishna? Because I mean, one cannot know Krishna through knowledge.
That's absolutely correct. So there
Only
are two
Krishna
answers.
can reveal himself to us.
Absolutely. Bhaktya mam abhijanati.
Yes.
Okay. Krishna will reveal himself to the degree of the purity of a devotion. However, how do you get to the degree of pure devotion? The two
Vaidhi
verses
Bhakti.
I want to talk about, right? Ado Shraddha, Tato Sadhu Sang, Ata Bhajan Kriya, Sat Artha Nivritti, Tato Tishtha, Ata Ruchi, right? Then Bhav, Asakti, Bhav, then Prem. You have to go through those 9 stages. So we are in the beginning stages. We're still struggling with Shraddha, Bhajan Kriya, and Sadhu Sang. And then Nivritti, hopefully. So we have to go through that. There's no choice. Right? And the second thing is that unless we know what Krishna wants, how will we ever please him? Who's going to tell you what Krishna wants?
Guru Sadhu and Shastra.
There you go. Hence Vaidhi Bhakti. Right? And then Nectar of Devotion talks about 3 forms of bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti, which is Vaidhi Bhakti, leading to Raganuga Bhakti. Then Bhav Bhakti, and then Prema Bhakti. How would you ever get to Prema Bhakti if you don't start with Vaidhi? So we are stuck, buddy. We have to do Vaidhi Bhakti first. We have no choice. We have to do it. Right? And sometimes it doesn't feel good. We have no taste. That's why we take break from bhakti. Can you believe that? We take break from bhakti. Chalo thoda sa cruise kar chale jaate hain. Let's go on a picnic. Let's do this or that. It's a break from bhakti because we don't have taste. We need a break. The taste, you don't need a break. Sorry? Oh, I thought somebody was asking something. Okay, anyway, so is that making sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for calling me buddy.
Okay.
अब अगर हम क्रूज पे भी जाते हैं या कहीं वेकेशन पे भी तो लेके ही जाते हैं भगवान को और माला को और सब साथ पैराफिनालियास तो लेकर ही चलते हैं.
Okay, but then why are you going on a cruise then? You can do that at home.
I mean, I've been to though, but
Well, let's be honest. We don't have the taste. And we take break only from what we don't have taste for. If we loved cricket, we won't ask for a break. If we love watching movies, we don't ask for a break. Right? If you're sitting with our wife we love, we won't ask for a break. We ask for a break for only those things we don't have taste for. And we don't have taste for bhakti, let's face it. So we take a break in the form of whatever. The day we develop the taste for it, we'll never ask for bhakti. Srila Bhakti Saraswati Maharaj, the spiritual master of our Prabhupada, chanted 192 rounds every day for 10 years. Every day for 10 years. That's 22 hours of chanting every day without break. 10 years. He had taste. How many of us are able to complete 16 rounds in a sitting? Please raise your hand. How many of us are able to finish 16 rounds in one sitting? Because we're lacking it so much. How many of us say, oh, can I do 4 quality rounds instead of 16 bad rounds? If you're doing quality rounds, you won't stop, period. But then you'll have taste. If you're enjoying something, you don't ask for a break. We ask for a break because we don't enjoy it. That's why we're doing Vaidhi Bhakti. We are being forced. But at least we're being forced. Thank God for that. Okay, I hope I'm not being too heavy. I'm just trying to give you very honest answers.
Prabhu, as we have spoken a few times, that whatever bhakti we are doing, at least for me, we are doing all out of fear. That
Sure.
kahin kuch gadbad na ho jaye.
Sure. It's fear, instructions. Yeah, absolutely.
or for the sake of bhakti, just doing bhakti for the sake of bhakti.
Let's face it, we don't know what bhakti is. I'm sorry, Usha. We don't know what bhakti is.
Because we're just doing the ritual.
Yes, agree.
Ritual, that's what I meant.
Agree, okay. Yeah.
Prabhu, there is so much in our life, day-to-day life, I think to take break, we do little bhakti, I feel.
Actually, you're not far from the truth. Some of us get so tired of the mundane stuff. We need to do bhakti. And we know that a lot of people fall apart because there's no bhakti in their life, only problems. It's been proven in studies after studies that those of us who are spiritual, who have some belief in Krishna, some faith in Krishna, we handle adversities much better than those who don't.
That's right.
So there's something to it. Even we may not be pure devotees, but we are aspiring devotees. And that has a lot of value. Okay, it's 9:40. I should really stop. Thank you all for your time. And
Thank you so much,
patience.
Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
And again, apologies if I said something offensive, too strong. But thank you very much.
Zaruri hai, Prabhu, heavy zaruri hai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
But I'm very glad that you have answer for any question, Prabhuji. Always.
Thank you,
And
Prabhu.
good answer, Prabhu. Really
Hare
good.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much.
Thank you. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo cha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you again. Thank you all.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.